Hi, everybody. Meteorologist Joe Cioffi. Weather in 5 days in 5 minutes. Brought to you by Omni True Value Hardware, 1226 North Wellwood Avenue in West Babylon, Long Island, in southwest Suffolk County, and serving the entire New York, New Jersey tri-state area with whatever you need to make sure your home is in tip-top shape or your business is in tip-top shape and that you're protected in case we have any kind of adverse weather. And remember, as winter draws ever closer, rock salt and anything you need with regards to making sure you get rid of snow and ice this winter. Omni has it all. They are Long Island's largest rock salt source. 631-756-1125 is the phone number, and the website omnitruevalue.com. Tropical Storm Nicole, which is just under hurricane strength, is approaching the northwestern Bahamas and moving westward. Didn't really do very much all overnight. It's just kind of been holding its own. Seeing some bursting of some thunderstorms this morning on the latest satellite loop, but I'm thinking that this is going to be okay for us in terms of the remnants or the remnant low when it moves up to the northeast. And here's the latest 7 a.m. advisory from the Hurricane Center. 26.6 north, 76.2 west with top winds of 70 miles an hour. Still moving west-southwest at about 13 miles an hour. It's still forecast to reach minimal hurricane strength today and make landfall sometime tonight, a little bit after midnight, along the Florida coast. And probably not too far away from West Palm Beach. That seems to be the target here as far as the center is concerned. But remember, because of the tight pressure gradient that we have in the South Atlantic states, we have hurricane warnings that are up from Boca Raton northward to the Flagler Volusia County line, and then tropical storm warnings have been extended northward up along coastal South Carolina to just past Charleston, but not quite to Myrtle Beach. We also have tropical storm warnings out on the west coast of Florida because this is going to cross the state, maybe briefly go back out over the water north of Tampa before coming inland again along the western part of the Florida Big Bend. And the forecast track is going to be inland, just on the east side of the Appalachians, moving up to the northeast from there. And this is going to be one of those situations where we're going to have to deal with what's left of Nicole, plus a cold front coming in from the west, and that is going to enhance rainfall here in the northern mid-Atlantic states and on up into New England. But I think the heaviest rains are going to wind up being to the west. If we take a look at what WPC is doing with regards to rainfall, now this is today for Thursday into Friday morning. So much of our area is fine through 7 a.m. Friday. You can see where the heavier rains are in down in Georgia and over into South Carolina. And then Friday night into Saturday, that's when we see the heavier rain move up the coast. But notice the heaviest rain is going to be inland, north and west of New York City, just north and west of Philadelphia. That's where the 1.5-inch line is being drawn by the Weather Prediction Center. And you've got some 2 and 3-inch amounts plus in central and western Pennsylvania, also into western and north central New York, where we're seeing some big amounts there. And then as we move on into Saturday, this starts to move away later Friday night. So we have some leftover precip Saturday morning to put on top of it. But then it just heads on up into New England and beyond. With regards to the 7-day totals, and much of what you're seeing here in the east is basically from Nicole and whatever happens when it moves inland and becomes post-tropical. Big rains in Florida of up to several inches or more, maybe some 4 or 5-inch amounts right near where the storm makes landfall, and then extending into southern Georgia, up the Appalachians, where we're seeing some 2 to 3, 2 to 4-inch rainfall amounts, and then central and western Pennsylvania, upstate New York, and then it tails off a little bit as you get into New England and picks up again when you get up into Maine. Right along the immediate coast, just to the east of the big cities, we're looking at general rainfall amounts of 1.5 inches or less. So I'm not, unless we get some sort of eastward shift here, if the cold front's a little faster in moving eastward where the low tracks further east, I'm not really overly concerned about many inches of rain and widespread flash flooding, at least when it comes to the areas from easternmost Pennsylvania on up into southern New England. There'll probably be some places there where the heavier rains fall that there will be some localized flash flooding. Now, it'll be a different story as you go further to the west and to the north, north and west of the track of Nicole. Meanwhile, we do have other weather going on, and of course, today it is going to be a beautiful day, albeit a chilly day, as highs make it back up into the 50s. That high is just built in here in the eastern states, and then if you look out west, you got that big swirl there that's moving through Nevada and moving eastward. That's the energy that's going to produce the cold front that's going to be moving eastward here at the same time. Radar this morning, as of 7:30 Eastern Time, not showing much of anything happening in the east, with the exception, of course, in Florida, where we are beginning to see some waves of some bands of rain coming in. Most of this has really been on the light side, and then out in the west, where we've got this next storm system coming in. You can see this arc of what is rain and snow. Snow, of course, up in the Northern Rockies and heading up into Montana. There is going to be a significant snowfall here, as WPC showing this is a probability of at least 2 inches from eastern Montana across North Dakota and northern South Dakota and on up into northwest Minnesota. And I'm going to just switch here quick to the probability of at least 8. And you can see for North Dakota into northwestern Minnesota, there's an 80% probability of at least 8 inches. So let's take you through what we think is going to happen here in the coming couple of days. You see you've got Nicole making that landfall tonight on the east coast of Florida, coming out briefly on the west coast Thursday morning, making the turn northward. And then the low center, as you see, goes pretty far to the left, back up the Appalachians into West Virginia, south central Pennsylvania, and then on up into northern Vermont. So that, again, north and west of the track of the low is where you see your heaviest rains. To the east, looks like some rain Friday, coming in Friday morning into the afternoon. Not a whole lot. There'll probably be a band of heavier rain later in the afternoon and evening. Then a break, and then one last band between, say, 1 a.m. and 7 a.m. Saturday morning. After that, we've got the low pulling out as it moves northeastward toward Newfoundland. Gusty winds, colder air coming in over the weekend and into next week as the overall pattern sets up to be below normal as far as temperatures are concerned once we get Nicole and the cold front out of the way. And it looks like we may stay in that pattern for a while. Next week, we've got a low coming out of the Gulf states. And yeah, you see snow there, parts of Arkansas, southern Illinois, not a whole lot. Moving eastward, even pinned up in parts of the central Appalachians. We'll see if that low holds together and brings some precipitation maybe around the middle of next week. A chilly rain is what it looks like at the moment. Weather in 5, brought to you by Omni True Value Hardware, 1226 North Wellwood Avenue in West Babylon, New York, serving the entire New York, New Jersey, Connecticut tri-state area with your hardware needs and your snow removal needs and your adverse weather needs. 631-756-1125 for the best prices in town. OmniTrueValue.com is the website. So we'll watch all this play itself out. The Joe and Joe Weather Show tonight will be at 8:30 Eastern Time. So mark your calendar, watch for your notifications, and we hope to see you then on my YouTube channel.